Welcome, everyone, to our next session of the 2023 Virtual Profitability Summit, 3 Ways AI Impacts the Bottom Line. And our presenters today from Innovate are Robert Shurtleff and Matt Weeder. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Tom.
Pleasure.
So welcome. We're Innovate, as Tom said. Thanks, Tom, for inviting us today. We very much appreciate it and the opportunity to speak to everybody. Matt and I would like to speak today just a little bit about current AI trends in the marketplace. It might be something you've heard on the media and the news, seem to be prolific everywhere lately, what those trends are in the market. But specifically, we want to drive into how they could be applied to manufacturing and distribution domains and organizations. And we're also going to touch a little bit on what Microsoft is doing in this area. Hi, I am Robert. I am our Microsoft and AI evangelist here at Innovate. It's my job to sort of pull all this data together and translate it all from technobabble from Microsoft and industry into hopefully a language that the rest of us can understand. With me is Matt. Matt leads our manufacturing and distribution organization, and Matt will take you on a deeper dive into just a few areas, very specific areas where we believe AI can bring significant value to a distribution organization. As a reminder, please put any questions that you have in the chat and question thing, and Matt and I will answer them immediately following our presentation. So let's jump in. So AI, right? Why now? Right? What changed? We've been talking about AI for over 30 years. Some of us might remember, right? IBM Watson playing Jeopardy and chess with world chess champions, right? So it's not a new conversation, right? So before this year, right? AI, we often refer to as cognitive AI or machine learning, right? Various labels, was very expensive, right? Not a little expensive, very expensive, and was required very specialized technologies, talent, resources, etc. Right? Each AI model, we're not, a little bit of jargon in there, right? But each sort of AI trained model was very custom to each individual question trying to be answered, right? Again, contributing to that expensiveness of AI. But the way I like to think about it or talk about it is, right, AI before this year was basically the rocket science, right? It is, right, the details and the complexity that we often refer to as rocket science, right? Where very, very smart people with very specialized skills live and create, right, these tools and great things, right? Another fun way is, right, it's always that man behind the curtain, right? This sort of hidden technology that's out there that sounds interesting, but no one really knows how to use, and no one's really figured out how to bring that to me as a common person running my business and make it valuable to me without asking me for a $20 million price tag. Until this year, right? Actually, it really started in November of last year, but it got hidden in the end of year holidays and stuff, and then resurfaced in January. And when this concept of general purpose AIs, often called large language models, foundation models, you'll hear this kind of language as you read through the literature or hear the headlines, right? And this is all of a sudden now a general purpose AI. I don't need all these custom models and things, really. Another way I like to think about it is, right, it's applied AI, or it's AI for everyone, not just the rocket scientists. It's already pre-trained. There's no additional training needed. It crosses almost literally every discipline, every domain, and the potential to cross every application, right, in and out of business scenarios. But our focus today is business scenarios, and particularly around distribution, right? So we have this big change that moves from this cognitive AI into what we call now generative AI, this general purpose AI that can be brought to the table. So if we go to the next slide, we'll look at a very quick example, right? It's one of the big differences here. In the past, cognitive AI, again, I had to hire data scientists and data analysts and data programmers and all of these, right? I needed a $2 million budget just to get started. But now you could use any, and there are several, but available today. You can use any of these large language models that are out there, and even program your own against them. And really, in 3 steps, have AI working for you. And it's as simple as this. Give it a persona. We see a little bit of a persona in that top screen capture up there. But effectively, it's what do you want the AI to be? It's right. What kind of assistant do you need it to be? So tell it, I need you to act like this. I need you to be this way. I need you to think this way. Give it some data, or in the example shown here, have it go get the data for you, right? Go extract data from a website or a spreadsheet, and then ask it questions. And we see sort of an example of this. You guys will get the slides. You can look at it in more detail, and you can play around and get it. And that's the big difference, right? That 2023 brought to the table. I truly have AI for everyone. I have access to this kind of tool, these kinds of generative AI capabilities, that anyone who can follow those 3 very simple steps can have access to a very, very powerful personal assistant. So Matt's going to take it from here, and he's going to go into 3 specific areas, especially around profitability and distribution, where AI could be brought to bear. Matt?
Thank you, Robert, and thank you to all the MDM members and participants joining us this afternoon. This past month, you may have participated in the membership survey that it relates to this screen. And this was profitability and pricing quiz. And the latest results, well, we have. And the question was asked, what is having the biggest negative impact on profitability today? Now, the results on their own, very interesting. However, what we did, Robert and our team at Innovate, is we took a look at the results and we said, what if we focused on a couple of these areas through the lens of artificial intelligence, explored and discussed the art of the possible, and say, what is that? This is how could AI help the MDM membership with areas having the biggest impacts on their profitability today, according to the survey. So based on the results, what we did is took 2 areas and tried to explore that. The first was related to competition and pricing. As you can see, that was the #1 answer. And we took that in 2 veins, and we'll talk to you about that in a second. The second thing we did is we looked at supply chain as a whole, which really is a part of a whole or most of these answers and sprinkled in some way. So what I want to start with is pricing, and then we'll pivot over to supply chain. And we're going to start with competitors going low to win orders, okay? What we determined in our first pass at this, in the first path, was could we help with value-based pricing as a differentiator? So what if AI could help us with customer segmentation and analysis? What if AI could analyze customer data, purchase history, maybe behavioral patterns, to identify distinct customer kind of segments and their preferences, maybe buying behavior, and more importantly, perceived value? So segmentation of these customers could really help drive differentiating value drivers for each segment, which would allow us then to potentially set specific pricing strategies accordingly. Further, we could analyze customer reviews, maybe social media sentiment, feedback data. See, it really starts to take a look at all of that data that Robert was talking about, right? This ubiquitous platform now that's going to scrape data. And the net is, now let's take the idea of, this concept of segmenting, and then let's add this concept of dynamic pricing. So what if AI could then take your pricing strategy and just the prices, adjust those in real time based on changing market conditions or demand fluctuations or even other relevant factors. But by continuously monitoring and analyzing market dynamics, what happens is it can recommend particular pricing adjustments, optimize revenue, capture real value at any given moment. Now, we know that lowering prices is going to appeal to some, if not all, or a lot of the segment of a market, but not all. And certainly not those clients or customers that either receive or perceive extra value, right? So if they feel like they know us, right? If we're starting to understand as a consumer that that this organization cares about our feedback. So now there's that concept, right? And look, this concept of dynamic pricing is not something new, right? If any of us who've ever waited for an Uber at peak hours knows that price changes, right? We've experienced dynamic pricing, but now we're able to take that concept and apply it to our pricing, right? So that's one way we think about it. Another way that we think about it is actual competitive pricing, right? What if with AI, we had tools automatically gathering and analyzing pricing data from various sources, including competitor websites, marketplaces, online catalogs, and potentially even the competition's published items on hand, knowing when they have potential shortages. This allows distributors, manufacturers to monitor their competitors, pricing strategies. They can track changes in real time and identify patterns. Now, let's again layer on this concept of, one of the many things that AI can do, but again, let's layer on that same concept of dynamic pricing models, but this time on competitive pricing. What if we powered dynamics pricing with solutions with AI and adjust prices in real time based not just on factors of demand, but also market conditions and competitor pricing? So continually monitoring these variables and leveraging this machine learning and algorithms so distributors can automatically price and optimize revenue and respond quickly to changes in the market. So that's two, right? That's two areas we talked about: competitive pricing and value-based. Now I'm going to pivot here for just a minute because I think it warrants some time and discussion around what are the art of the possible in supply chain. So one of the first lessons I've learned in any relation to supply chain is to recognize that I'm not in control of my supply chain. And there are risks that cannot be foreseen, and they are out of my control. The only thing we can do is maybe collect key steps and map the supply chain to, critical external services that affect our business, right? But that's a vast amount of data to be able to collect, synthesize, and then be able to use in real time. Beyond just understanding our particular supply chain is the operating environments they're in, whether it be geopolitical or we're looking at pandemics or natural disaster, and the list really goes on. So how could AI help? So what if we could, in real time, have access to decision-making data? If we could use AI to analyze real-time data, such as market conditions, customer demand, supplier performance, to provide actionable insight to timely decision-making, it's a game changer. And with access to this up-to-date information that's AI-driven, you can make informed decisions promptly, right? Improving supply chain sustainability and reliability. The second idea is to be able to assess risk along that supply chain. What if we used AI tools to assess various risks along the supply chain? Supplier reliability, again, this concept of geopolitical instability or natural disasters and market fluctuations. But by continually monitoring these and pulling that information back, it allows us to make good decisions about what to do next. And now we couple that with some real supply chain. What if we could integrate data from various sources, such as suppliers and logistics suppliers? What if we could provide real-time visibility to our supply chain across the organization? Well, here's the trick. Now with Microsoft ERP and AI integration, it's truly no longer a matter of what if, but rather when. And I want you to trust me when I say, if you're not taking advantage of this new technology, your competition either already is or soon will be. And I guess to help make that point, I'm going to share something with you. This was most recently, I think this was released just a couple months ago. This was shared recently by Microsoft as a promotional video. This is part of Microsoft's next planned release. What was yesterday the art of the possible is today's reality. This will just be a quick minute or two.
Company, one of their biggest challenges.
Let me start from the beginning here. Here we go.
Dahlia is a supply chain planner at Kraft Heinz Company. One of their biggest challenges is keeping up with demand in the face of unexpected supply chain disruptions. Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, which is available to Dynamics 365 supply chain management customers, helps them stay close to their suppliers to ensure they are never out of stock. They can respond quickly in critical situations by identifying costly problems early and swiftly collaborating with partners to maintain healthy inventory levels. Dahlia first uses the AI-driven news module to keep a finger on the pulse of events that impact critical logistics, such as weather, workforce, or geopolitical disruptions. Today, she's presented with an article about a flood in Michigan. She sees this article has been tagged as an immediate risk, and her suppliers, Northwind Traders, Van Arsdale, and Best For You Organics Company, are affected. Dahlia selects Northwind Traders and clicks Contact Partner. She wants to confirm the impact on order dates and quantity, given the flooding in Michigan. She reviews an AI-generated email powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot that already contains all the relevant information referencing the flooding and specific orders in question. She opens the draft directly in her email, sees that the right contact, Mauricio, has automatically been filled in, and sends it off. With Copilot, Dahlia is able to quickly handle this task in just a few clicks, facilitating a much faster mitigation process. Mauricio from Northwind Traders responds, "The order will be delivered from an alternative Northwind Traders location with a new ETA." With Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, Dahlia was able to act swiftly, detecting problems that could have major impact to her business and taking immediate action to.
All right, let me hold you there for just a second. I think that's the gist of the video, but I think this bears repeating, and this is the important part. And truly, trust me when I say, if you're not taking advantage of this technology, if you're not starting to investigate it, know that your competition is, and they're going to be using it, or they soon will be. Robert, let me turn this over to you, and you can take a little bit deeper dive into the specifics around Microsoft Copilot.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
To mitigate the disruption.
Go.
I know they always autoplay on us. So
Yeah.
Copilot, so the video shows just one example of where Microsoft is bringing, again, the generative AI capabilities directly embedded and integrated within their products, within their infrastructures, within particular products, within their business applications, right? The Dynamics 365 suite. And that was just one example. There are many, many examples. Here we see it talking about some of the other features that are coming to Power Platform, right? Which is sort of some of the underlying horizontal capabilities that are part of Dynamics. We've seen some of the NDA roadmaps. Well, these are coming. We can't share the specifics yet, but just know that this is an example, one of a long line of roadmaps of additional functionality that Microsoft will be rolling out in the coming weeks and months. Right, it's not a one and done. So a lot of excitement there around these. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us, right? Putting these in. And again, like that slide I started with, right? Moving us from having to do all of the rocket science and the customizations and heavy development to simply being able to take advantage of this kind of technology directly in the applications that we're using every day to run our business. So let's move forward one slide and think about what can, right, next steps and what we can do for you. If you're like any or all of our other clients, I mean, I can't tell you, every single day, multiple times a day, I have this conversation with our clients, right? You have questions. You have lots of questions. We understand that, Right? It's all very new and it's moving. You know, we thought the speed of the internet, remember we used to use that term, you know, about 10 years ago. Yeah, the speed of AI makes the speed of internet look like a turtle, right? Is going so fast. So we want to help people. So we offer free whiteboard sessions. Here, you can see the link there. I have staged here. I just have to press enter. I've put that link directly in the webinar chat out to everyone. So you can just sort of get to that with a point and click. This is here. Take advantage of it. Contact us. We would love to hear your questions. We don't know all the answers. We don't claim to know all the answers, but we've made a very serious investment in understanding these technologies in this particular domain and other domains too, but also in this particular domain, in helping our clients navigate this roadmap there. And we would love to help you do that, in your own journey. So please take us up on our offer. It is free. You can get some time with Matt, you can get some time with me, or if there's somebody else we have in our organization that's a spot on match for you, right? We'll go find them and we'll grab them and pull them in to the conversation and get the right people in front of you to help you with your questions.